Hi everybody. Hello. This is Sam Hunter at Hunter's Design Studio, and this is a quick video tutorial to show you how to tackle long seams without stretching them. So I've got the camera mostly focused right here on the machine where it's going to matter, so you won't see much of my face in this one. So first of all, one of the first places where we can really introduce accuracy in how we sew is getting a flat bed to your needle. I happen to have this machine tucked into sewing furniture. This is a Janome table. This is a Janome machine. There's an insert here that goes around the machine that sits down. Often machines come with other portable tables, kind of like this one. If you can imagine, if my machine was sticking up, we'd wrap it around just like that. Anything you can do to increase this table length in front of the needle is going to help you maintain a little bit more accuracy. So that's the first thing. If your machine didn't come with a table, there are a bunch of really wonderful aftermarket tables. Not only do they fit any type of machine bed, but they come from, small little ones like this that are really easy to be portable with, to ones that are really big like this, which would help you with your free motion and other machine quilting stuff. Okay, so we're going to have your table sorted out. We're going to try to get a little bit of space into here. You'll notice I'm using a seam guide. This changes a little bit about how I pin things, but I use this to create my seam allowance in any way that I want it. And I've got it set kind of large so you can see what's going on, so don't pay attention to that. So the next thing we're going to look at is what happens when you want to pin your fabric. Pretend these are longer, and we'll get to some long ones in a minute, and why I recommend using pins instead of using clips. So if you see this, I've got a gray and a blue. I'm going to pull into the back and grab the gray. I'm going to pull into the front and grab the blue. So I'm holding one of each one. If I pull them apart, you see nothing's going to scoot. Pins are going to hold it absolutely still. I can't upset the alignment that I've created with my pins. If I do the same thing with clips, you can see that it doesn't take much to actually pull them apart. So if you're dealing with anything where pinpoint accuracy is really, really critical, pinpoint accuracy, use pins, don't use clips. Clips are wonderful for when you've got ultra thickness around the tops of tote bags, stuff like that, where you kind of want to hold your layers together. But pins are going to hold your layers accurately. So we're going to do that. So if you need to pin a long strip, how do we go about doing that? Especially when it's super, super long. So imagine that this puppy here is 40 inches long. I just have it a bit shorter so you can see it. So the first thing you want to do is find your halfway point. And the best way to find a halfway point, just fold whatever it is that you're trying to pin in half and put a little pinch in it, or rub your thumbnail on it. Or a pin will do fine, but you see I've got kind of a mark now in my fabric. Do it on your second one. Okay, and we're going to do that here, little pinch. So now I know where my centers are going to align. So I'm going to align those first, get right on top of it. Normally I would pin this way, but when I pin this way with a seam guide, I run into my pins. So I'm just going to pin like this, okay? And then you pin your ends, your two ends. Okay, that one. We'll pin this guy. And often when you're sewing super long strips, you're going to need a little bit of easing. Easing means make it fit. Those of you who come from a garment making background will know, easing shoulders in to a blouse or something like that. Easing means wiggle with it until they fit together. Now, this could be enough pins for this piece, but if you've got a really, really long piece, you're going to need a few more in the middle. How many? I like to say, if I put my hand down, I touch 2 pins. So about the width of my hand. So we'll have another one here. I'll have another one here. I don't know that we need to get a hole much closer than that. If you're feeling brave and good, you could be here. But remember, if you want to kind of skimp on your pins, sometimes that means you're going to get to seam rip. So I would make sure that you spend a little extra time pinning so you don't spend a little extra time ripping. I'm going to move these pins more towards my center so that I can leave them in while I'm sewing for you. The next thing that we want to do, oh, this would have been smart. I don't have any thread in my machine. Boy, talk about not being set up well for a video, huh? Okay, this is where you get to see if I can actually see to thread a machine. I am wearing my glasses. Oof. It's like, how fast can we thread this? There we go, one of those. One of those. Did you know that whenever you thread your machine, you need to have your tension discs open? So always lift up your presser foot when you're threading. If you don't get through these tension discs, you won't have top tension properly. You get a nasty, ratty mess on the back of your work. If you see mess on the back, that means the top thread's misbehaving. If you see mess on the front, it means the bottom thread is misbehaving. So they kind of work opposite each other. This is a Janome, so it threads to the side rather than front to back. And ta-da! Okay, so we're going to get on here and grab the foot pedal. This is kind of a loud machine, so I'm not going to talk while we're sewing. But one thing that I want to say is you never sew more than you have on your machine bed. So put your hand down, and we're pressing down. We're not pressing back. We're not pulling back. We're just holding down and guiding. So I usually pop my thumb right about here, and I sew up to where I can hold the fabric. Realign my pieces, hand down, sew up to where I can align my fabric. Hand down, put your thumb down, press down. I'm about to sew over a pin. And again there. So never sew fabric that you don't have a good grip on. It just means that you're more likely to stretch. The way the sewing machine works is your feed dogs are sitting underneath and they're coming up and pulling backwards. They kind of have this kind of a motion. And the foot on the top is doing this. So when the foot on the top kisses, this is in the going backwards motion. But that means that the bottom piece of fabric actually gets drug on a little bit more than the top. And so one of the things that we often tend to do is, oh, well, I've got this pinned. I was going to show you a long thing. Let's just pretend it isn't, okay? Is we pull these apart and we kind of grab the ends, right? I'm going to push these together. And we allow the machine to sort of take some tension and we hold them like this. And we don't hold this with as much tension as we hold this. We think we do, but we actually don't. So, and this one gets pulled harder by the machine. So you start doing this, and to keep it straight, you end up kind of pulling back on what the machine's doing. And when I do this, what happens is I pull one more than the other, and then when I go to press it, my piece is actually curved. Looks like this. Really hard to solve with the iron. Now, if you need to do it this way, again, hold them together, place them together, hold your hand down, sew up to your hole. Okay? And again, align them. I have them separated by my hand here. Hold them together. Align them. Hold them together. Now, if I'm about halfway through the strip, so I'm gonna check. Looks like I'm pretty close here. If I pull them apart and hold them separately, you can see that I pulled some inaccuracy into this. These were cut the same length, so that critical hold and push up, hold and push up, and use your pins. All right, that's the end of this video. Thanks for stopping in. Bye-bye.